So in this video, we are going to be comparing the 110mm versus the 80mm lenses on the GFX system. The 110 being an f2 and the 80mm being an f1.7. I didn't have both these lenses at the same time, but I did take similar pictures. So we'll do a bit of a light comparison, mostly comparing the bokeh. Also for this intro, I am shooting this on the GFX paired with the 250mm f4. Typically, I shoot all my talking head pieces on my XH1 with either the 23 1.4 or the 8 to 16mm, but Fuji was cool enough to send me another GFX 100S along with the 250mm and the 23mm to test out, and I figured I would want to give this lens a test for the intro. I am going to be testing out some more video throughout my time with this camera, and I am also going to be doing a full review on the GF 250mm lens. I haven't really seen too many of those out there. The 200mm focal length is probably my favorite focal length, so I'm really excited to test out this lens and put it through the ringer. Let me know if there's anything you want me to test out with this lens in the comments. I will definitely do my best to get to anything you guys want me to check out. And with that being said, let's get into the video. All right, let's talk about the 110 versus the 80mm in a quick casual comparison. Also, I think it's very important to include dogs in my videos, especially since there are a handful of dog haters that feel the need to comment. This one's for you guys. I wasn't gonna do it, but just for you, I got you. Okay, seriously though, the main reason we're including dogs in this comparison is simply because this is really the only fair comparison I have with the 80 versus 110, because I did not have both these lenses at the same time, and I did a dog sidewalk shoot back when I had the 110, so I figured I'd do another one with the 80 and do a light comparison. So this isn't a one-to-one comparison, but it's decently close enough to make a little segment on. Chief, one is shot with the 110, one is shot with the 80 1.7. The 110's a 2.0. So now's a chance to take your pick. Which one's the 80, which one's the 110. But ultimately, both images are pretty smooth. Not a completely fair comparison. This view is like a full side plane, whereas I think in this shot, the nose is in focus, so it's not a full one-to-one comparison. But if we zoom in, this background is super smooth. You know, and most of Chief is in focus in this one. Pretty nice. Obviously, towards the end, he's a bit crooked and the tail gets out of focus, but really nice image. I really like how smooth the bokeh is, or bokeh. On this side, same thing. Yeah, as you can see, the nose was in focus. This image is a bit more extreme, I think, but the background's also pretty smooth. You know, this one is obviously a much darker background, so it's hard to tell the smooth level. But if you were to guess that the image on the right is the 80mm, you would be correct. And I think it is absolutely a bit more extreme, more so than the 110. I'm gonna throw up this image I took of Duncan, obviously not a one-to-one, but pose-wise, they're pretty similar. You know, and this one of Duncan was shot with the 110, and no, the background is also insanely smooth. Like, I don't think you could go wrong with either lens. You know, both are really nice. If we take a look at a closer up view, so I have two of Duncan here. This is I think this one is more in line with one another. One of these is with the 110 f2, one of these is with the 80 1.7. So now's your chance, take a quick peek, and which one do you think is which? This one again on the left is shot with the 110. This was in spring, and this was shot the same day as with that previous shot in the fall or the late summer. So, you know, your background's much darker. I think also this image was a heavier crop. This was not really crop at all. You know, so not a one-to-one comparison, but I think in this one, I think the 110 is a much more visually pleasing background. But again, this is a crop, so we are dealing with that. I think both these lenses are insanely sharp. I don't think you could really go wrong with either or. I would probably pick the 110, but that's just me. I mean, I've used the 80 for 3 weeks in a row. You know, it has both a very extreme depth of field and pleasing bokeh, but it's also insanely sharp. The only difference is, I think gun to my head, the smallest difference is the chromatic aberration you get on the 80. I didn't notice it as much on the 110, so that's that. So there you have it. There was my light comparison between the two lenses. At some point, I'll definitely get both lenses at once so I can do a true one-to-one comparison and really be super technical. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this light comparison. Let me know which images you found to be more pleasing and which bokeh you liked better. No, it's not a one-to-one, but just for conversation's sake, let me know what your thoughts are. Also, I took a look at the intro footage for this. The 250mm is definitely not a super fast focusing lens. As you will have seen, the intro had a bit of tracking issues. If you want to see how the 80mm 1.7 does with like eye tracking, take a look at my headshot video. I have some recording of like the screen so you can see how well the eye tracking does, but clearly the 250 is not the best. Stay tuned, I'm gonna have a review on the 250mm coming out. Again, let me know if there's anything you want me to test for. And probably I'm gonna have some other videos on a few studio tests and whatnot. And yeah, with that being said, stay tuned. Give me a subscribe if you haven't already. It helps me gain some traction. And with that being said, I'll catch you in that next video.